Yeah.
Sorry for the delay. It's an international terminal here, so.
What type of mask is that, Diago?
I bought it in the dollar store.
N95.
I bought it in the dollar store, and it's a shark, but you could breathe. See? I bought it in Dollar Tree. See? It's mamish gewaldig.
Can you breathe? Can you breathe underwater?
I hope not to find out. Oh, but it's mamish. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. Anyways,
good.
Okay, so where do we leave off?
Mishnah.
We got up to the Mishnah, right? We're up to the
Yeah.
Mishnah.
Yeah, Mishna and Chavav,
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate the Olam having patience with me. Okay, so Kol Shef. Now we're done with the Eidos. Now we get into shofar, right? So Kol Shofar is ksherin. All shofars are kosher, chutz mishal para, except for a cow, of an Eishu Karen, because it's called a Karen. It's not called a shofar. It's called a horn, I guess. It's called a horn and not a shofar. Some of you, I see, like Kol Shofar is
So Yaakov, I just have to tell you because I saw this about an hour ago. I got on the internet. I got a joke of the day, and it says, "Why do cows wear bells? Because their horns don't work." I'm almost short before I learned this.
That's there you go. Okay, so it's I guess that's the pshat. Today's daf.
Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. So Omar. So anyway, so we're saying that all shofars, according to the Tanakh, all shofars work except for a parah because it's called Karen, not a shofar. Some Rabbi Yosef, I like call a shofar is nikur Karen. Every shofar is called a Karen. Shenemer memshoich beKaren hayovel. Right, because it says when you're in middle of a yovel. Yeah, so you see that Karen is referring to all horns. So it's a machlokes whether you're allowed to use a parah or not. Okay, so the Gemara, Shapir Kama Rebbi Yossi. Rebbi Yossi seems to be saying a good thing that every shofar is called a Karen for Rabanan. What are Rabanan going to do with that? Kol shofar is ikru shofar v'ikru Karen. All shofaras are called shofar and it's called Karen. The parah, Karen ikri shofar lo ikri. But a parah, meaning so all other shofars are shofar and Karen. Parah is only called Karen. Shofar lo ikri. It's not even called shofar. T'sir b'char shorei hadalei v'karnei re'im karnov. Right. So the chor of the shor, it's hadalei, and the karnei re'im is its Karen. So you see the shor, which is the same thing as a parah. So it's called Karen. Rabbi Yossi Amar Loch. Rabbi Yossi is going to say the parah nami ikri shofar. Parah is also called shofar. You'll see this patitiv l'Hashem b'shar par. Right, and it says, and it's going to be more. It's Hashem is going to be happier with it. It's better for Hashem than a shar of a par, meaning a carbon. Im shar lama par, im par lama shar. If it's a par, then why a shar? And if it's a shar, why a par? Elamai shar par mi shofar, which means it's a play on words. It's not shar par, it's shofar, right? Mi shofar. So you see that shofar does have to do with parah. And the Rabanan, what are they going to do with that? Rabanan, the Rav Masna, the Amar Rav Masna, my shor par, shehu gadol kipar. It's big. It's as big as a bull. Right? And this meaning it's referring to, like we had a bunch of blot ago, that everything was created full. Right? When Hashem created all the animals, they were created as full animals. They didn't have to grow. Right? So when it was called a shor, it was gadol kipar. Fine. Ula Amar. So now that's the first reason. Now Ula has a different reason. Ula Amar. I know time of the Rabanan could have Chista. The Amar of Chista. They might ain't kohen gadol nichnas big days off. How come? Right? Famous Gemara. How come the kohen gadol uses white begadim on Yom Kippur and to go inside the Kodesh Kodashim, and he doesn't go with gold? Right? So the accuser can't. The lawyer. The accuser can't become the lawyer, which is that since gold, they used gold for the, what do you call it?
The eagle.
The eagle was made out of gold, so that's bad. That's bad for Klal Yisrael. So Mamela, this is how can you go into the Kodesh Kodashim with that?
Can I ask something?
Okay. Yeah.
The first Kabbalah Torah was before Chet Egel, right? And it's the exact same Torah as Moshe Rabbeinu got when he came back Yom Kippur later. So there was no Kategas Hanega then before the Egel, but it's the same. It says it in the Torah before that.
Says it before, yeah, but
they got the Torah before the Chet Egel. They had the first Kabbalah Torah, and there's nothing different except Zachavish. There's no words that are different, right?
You mean how did they know to say that the Kohen should go in?
Yeah, and it said in the Torah that Moshe Rabbeinu threw down on the floor. No.
I hear you're saying so. I guess you're saying that the Torah knew in advance that there was going to be an egel.
I don't know what I'm saying at all. I just know that what does it have to do with this? Because if they didn't do the Chet Egel, that was the same mitzvah, right? If the Torah was the same, then what?
Right, I hear. Enochanami. I don't know, Taka. So okay, but that's what it is. That you can't go inside. So what's the thing? Meaning you can't go inside lefnai v'lefnim to the Kodesh HaKadoshim with gold. So the same thing, you can't use a para because it was a para, right? The Egel Azov was a para. So how can you use on Rosh Hashana? How can you use a horn from a para? So when it says v'loy v'ha'ika dam par, but we use the blood of a par, right? On Rosh Hashana, on Yom Kippur, he uses the blood of a par and brings it inside. So when it says ha'il v'ishtani. Now since it changed, meaning it's only the blood. It's not the actual par. It's the blood from the par, right? So therefore, it's no longer considered a par. You have the aron and the kapyrus and the kruvim, right? Those are all made out of gold. Right? So we're saying that only a chayte shouldn't bring it. I mean, that has nothing to do with a chet. When the Kohen Gadol is doing the avodah, he's saying we're doing a chet. So to go with gold, which was one of the biggest chatarim that we ever did, so that's not that can't be of gold. But stam, the aron, papyrus, the kruvim have nothing to do with the chet, so then that's fine. Gemara says, well, you could kafu machta, but what do you mean? You have the kaf, the spoon, and the machta, the shovel of the ashes, and the spoon of the incense. That went inside the flower. That was made out of gold. So chayta, bal yisnoa kamrina. You're just saying that a chayta shouldn't make himself beautiful with gold clothing to go inside the Beis Hamikdash. To go in with gold utensils that you need, that's fine, but don't make yourself look nice with stuff that got you in trouble in the first place. Big day zovmi b'chutz. What do you mean? But you have the big day zovmi b'chutz, meaning outside when the Kohen Gadol works on Yom Kippur, he's using gold, right? So what about that? So we say b'fnim kamrin. We're only worried about going b'fnim. So shofar nami b'chutz. The shofar is not in the Kodesh HaKadoshim. So what's wrong with the shofar? Even the zichron who was the zikaron who to b'fnim domi. Since it's like a zikaron, right? We're trying to bring up a good zikaron in front of Hashem, so that's like b'fnim. But the Tana says because it's called Keren, it doesn't say anything about that you shouldn't have anything having to do with a cow on Yom Kippur. So there's two reasons. One and another reason. One, because you don't want the thing that got us in trouble to come in to defend it. And also because it's Keren. Right? Which, by the way, it's in Yonah the Yomi because it's Rosh Chodesh. And the reason why Rosh Chodesh is a Yom Tif, like we had a couple of days ago in Taisus, the reason why Rosh Chodesh is a Yom Tif for the women is because they didn't take part in the what do you call it, the Chet Egel, right? All right, so that's the second shot. Abaya Omar, Hainu Tamar the Rabanan. The reason for the Rabanan is shofar Amar Rachman of Eloi Shnayim v'Shloisha shofars. It says blow with one shofar and not.
Do we skip Rabbi Yosi Amar La?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah. Thank you. Rabbi Yosi Amar Rabbi Yosi is going to tell you the Ka'amrit Ein Katega Nasas Neger. This that was saying that Ein Katega Nasas Neger Hanimi with the Befnim. That's only on the inside. V'Hai Shaver Mebachutz. The Shaver is on the outside, like we said before. With the Ka'amrit Mepneishu Keren. And all you said because it's a Keren. Kol Shofar is Nami Yukru Keren. Right? That's what we said. All Shofar is also called Keren. Abaya Omar Hainu Tamar the Rabbanon. The reason for the Rabbanon is shofar Amar Rachman of Eloi Shnayim v'Shloisha shofars. So Abai has a third reason why shofar doesn't work, because a shofar is lined, it's thicker, and you can really peel back one layer after the other layer. So the Torah says only one shofar, not two or three. V'had the para, and a para, kiva, and the ka, gildi, since it has separate layers, mischazik shnayim v'shloisha shofars, it looks like two or three shofars. Oh, but the Gemara asks, well, Tonim of Neshu Karen Komer, same kasha we said. It says because it's called a Karen, not because it has 2 or 3 layers. Chadavayid Komer, it's saying one reason and another reason. Chad the shofar echad Amar Achmona. One is that it says shofar echad, the loy shnayim, a shloisha shofar is not 2 or 3. And another reason is because it's a Karen. And what's Rabbi Yossi going to say to that? Rabbi Yossi, Amar Lach, the Kamrat shofar echad Amar Achmona, loy shnayim, a shloisha shofar. Shofar is this that you said, that it's one shofar, not 2 or 3 shofars. Keeping the mechabri adadi, since they're connected to each other, chadhu it's considered one shofar. The power of an Neshu Karen, and this that we said that it's called a Karen. Kol shofaros tami ikru Karen. They're also called Karen. So Rabbi Yossi also defends himself with 2 different shot.
I'm not copying this Gemara regarding it's Shnaim and Shleish. It's not really. I mean, Rabbi Yossi's Taina is very good Taina. Like, or what he would have said is a good Taina.
Yeah, so we're going to see weiter on the description of the shofar. So it might get a little.
I'm saying
clearer.
you can't blow. It's not when you blow through it. You're not blowing through 2 or 3 shofars.
So we're going to see. We're going to see on Amud Beis. We're going to see on Amud Beis.
And when you look at it, it looks like it's. When you look at it,
it looks like one shofar.
Right. That's exactly what Yossi is saying.
Right.
I'm saying, but is that true? When you look at it, it looks like it's more than one.
Yeah. And okay, well, let's wait till Amud Beis to see. Hopefully, we'll get there. Okay, so. So fine. So my mashra, that's we're up to, right? Yeah. So my mashra, third of the middle lines. My mashma the high yovel lishna the dachrahu, because yovel. Where do you get that yovel is a lashon of a ram, right? Because the pasuk that he brought is from yovel. The Karen of yovel. The Tanya Amar Rabbi Akiva shalachti la'arviya. When I went to Arabia, right? How you call in the dachra yovel? They called a ram a yuvla. Amar Rabbi Akiva shalachti. The Galia, when we went to Galia, how you currently Nida Galmuda. Nida was called Galmuda. My Galmuda, Gamula Dami Baila, that she separated from her husband. Now I don't know why the Gemara goes through all these things. Okay, when I went to Africa, you currently Ma Kshita, they would call a Ma the amount of money a Kshita. The Mainaf Kamina, what difference? Who cares? Lefrushe Ma Kshita, the Raisa Ma donkey. Right? To explain that 100 Kshitas from the Torah is really 100 donkey, just to know exactly when you're traveling exactly what the currency is. Sama Rebbi kashalachli lekrochayam. When I went overseas, hayukarin lemechira kira. They would call selling kira. The Mainaf Kamina. What's the difference? The frushe to explain the pasuk of Asher Karisi Li, right? What's Karisi for me, right? So the end of that pasuk is talking about Yosef when he gets buried in Eretz Yisrael. So he says, "I want it for myself." He says, "I want the caver that I bought for myself." So that's what Kira means to buy.
I wanted a taina. I wanted to just taina with my chavrutz this morning. I wanted a taina. What is Rabbi Akiva doing all over the world? Africa, Arabia.
It's famous. It's a famous story.
African Arabia, right near Eretz Yisrael.
He was trying to tamp down a rebellion.
Hold on, I'm just holding. I'm pausing for a minute because I'm going on to the plane and then I'll continue. Okay, I'm just pausing for a minute to continue the thing.
He was making
they're
sure
right
the
near
Jews.
Eretz Yisrael. No,
Africa's near Eretz Yisrael.
Yeah,
That's there was a specific reason he went.
Egypt is in Africa. Egypt is in Africa.
Egypt's already Africa? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
If you ever read Akiva from Marcus Lehman, he speaks about it. Why he went around the world?
Why?
Because there was a rebellion. Alexandria had a lot of Jews at the time, and they wanted to rebel against the king, against whatever, in order to create a problem for Klal Yisrael. The Jews in Alexandria wanted to rebel against the Roman, whoever was their oppressor, whatever it was. And he was going there to sort of calm them down so that they wouldn't cause problems for the Jews in Eretz Yisrael as well.
I learned it that Rabbi Akiva did it before he turned 40, before he really became started learning. Is that possible?
I don't know.
So he was like
I think this was he was already a gadol at the time when he went around. He was a leader of Klal Yisrael.
He was
when he went around. Yeah, that's the way Marcus Lehman presents it.
Okay. I thought maybe he did it before he was 40. Well, otherwise he was into learning it. Yeah, okay. Well, he writes it in the book.
His
Akiva.
famous book, Akiva. Yeah, his famous book is called Akiva. It's a very famous book. It's from Chazal. He took from Chazal and he wrote a book about Rebbi Akiva.
Africa starts from Egypt and goes all the way.
I think his most famous visit is to Africa, if I'm not mistaken. I'm sorry, to Egypt, to Alexandria.
I thought it was Asia. I thought it was Asia.
What?
Egypt's not. Eretz Yisrael's Asia, no?
It's between Asia and Africa. Eretz Yisrael is as big as New Jersey, so it's right in between Asia and Africa.
I think Eretz Yisrael is considered Asia Minor, if I'm not
Technically,
mistaken.
it's Asia. Yeah.
And it's attached to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
The Arabian Peninsula is right on Eretz Yisrael.
Right.
That's where Yemen. That's where Yemen is, and that's where Saudi Arabia is.
Israel is clearly at the crossroads of Asia and Africa, and hence was at the crossroads of civilizations.
Yes,
So,
thank you.
why Hashem
And
picked it
Europe.
that way, maybe it was to give the Jews a central role in the ancient world, medieval world, and obviously now Israel continues to occupy a central role in the world's economy and so many other ways. Rabbi Arya Leibowitz this morning said that you use words. He gave an example. He said of the debate over the tcheles. He said that the chilazon in Hebrew, the same snail that those who use that tcheles, including me, of course, claim is the correct one. That's the same word in English, chilazon. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying he gave that example.
All right, I'm back. Sorry. So we worked out the history here.
Yeah.
Yes, and I just have to say I very much appreciate the shark face and the black hat. I'm very much enjoying this.
Oh, I didn't copy the head still on. Okay, anyways, let's see weiter. So Amr Shimon ben Lakish, Shalachti Yitchum Kandashari, when I traveled to the border of Kandashraya, Hayukaran Lakala Ninfi. They call the Kala a Ninfi. Latanago Sefi and to Katanago Sefi. This is important because this is how we know Hanazin Lasefi is really two pshatim. When you say it in the morning, there's two pshatim. It's either a rooster when the rooster crows, or to somebody who has seichel, right? So like from the word seichel. So Lakala Ninfi might crow. What's the puzzle? You say no, it's size kala oretz. I think that's a niggin peretz, right? Like a beautiful kala. Joy of the whole earth. And Tarnago, Sefi, and a Tarnago is a Sefi, right? Omar, Rabbi Amaravi, by same Rabbi Shuv and Levi, micro, what's the pasuk? Mi shas the tuchais, chachma, oiminas on the Sefi vina, right? Who put, the tuchais, chachma means like smooth ones on their chachma, and who gave the Sefi understanding, right? Yes, sorry. So Mishas Batuchos. So then the pasuk finishes. Mishas Batuchos Chachma. Who put in the smooth ones Chachma? Elu Kloyas, right? As we know, that's the kidneys. The kidneys is where the Chachma comes. I mean, that's on the Sefi. You know, Zetanago. Who gave the Sefi understanding? That's a Tanago. And Levi Ikwa Lahu Asa. Levi traveled someplace. Also, Gavra Lakameh.
So the Torah is speaking other languages? When the Torah...
Yeah, sure. The Taita Face is the biggest one.
I mean, so you're saying there was an idea that the Torah speaks other languages besides for Lashon HaKodesh?
Yeah, sure. Yes, it's that Taita Face is also in Africa. Isn't it also Africa? What language is Taita Face?
Yes.
Yeah, so you see that. It's yeah, Akiva, I don't know what the pshat is. But yeah, fine. So Levi, Iklulahu Asr, Levi traveled to that land.
Next week's parsha, Galei.
Oh, that's true also, Galei. Yeah. So Levi, Iklulahu Asr, also Garvalagami. Levi traveled to a place and a man came in front of him. Omar Lei, on Anton days now. Kavan Planya. So and so was cover me. And Pliny mean, right? Pliny, what's it called? Random guy said was covering me. I didn't know what he was saying to me. Right, so also Josh, he went to ask him the base Medrash. Amalei Gazlan. He said that cover means Gazlan. He said he was robbed. He said that should a man rob Hashem? Right? Amalei Rabba mi Barnish Ravashi. He have a Hassam. So he must have been Rabba mi Barnish. Must have been a much more street smart guy. He said, if I have a Hassam, I would have told him, Heichi Kavacha. How was he cover you? By my Kavacha. What would he cover you? By my Kavacha. And why did he do it? And when Mela have a Yadina, then you would have figured it out. Meaning, ask him ask him 3 questions, and you'll figure out from the answers what he did to you. Do you sover? No, so but Levi said that he thought he was telling him something about Isser, which usually means zlus. Fine. Then the Gemara says a few more examples. They have a Yadi Rabanan, my Sirugin. They didn't know what the word Sirugin means. So Sirugin means like, back and forth. So Shamul Amsa de Rebbi, they heard the Rebbi, the Amsa de Rebbi, the maid of Rebbi's house, that was the Sinul Rabbanan, Davailu Piski Piski. She saw the Rabbanan traveling, coming into the base of Medrash, like, some at a time. So Amr Lahu, how come we told one of you guys is going to come, piece by piece. Why don't you guys all come in together? Yeah, so that's one case. Then right? The Rabbanon didn't know what Chagugas was. One time that they heard the Amsa de Rebbi, the Chazis Lahu Gavra, the Kamavada Parpachanina, that she saw somebody who was putting out some sort of spices.
So this was...
Until where are you going to spread out your Chagulugas? Right? So that's how we know that it means it's some sort of spice. What are you saying, Rabban?
I was just hitting me. So this is where it's after, excuse me, it's after the Sanhedrin. None of these Gedolim could have been on the Sanhedrin. They had to speak Shivan Lashonis. These are words.
Oh, you mean they didn't understand? Yeah, and
basic words. These are basic. Seems to be basic words.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Very good, Taka. Fine. Then the next case, Lo Yada Rabbanan my salsala. They didn't know what it means. Salsala. They knew what that means. Roime means to lift. So Yom Echad Shomer La Amsa Devei Rebbi Havas Amr Lahu Gavra to have a Kamahapa Basare. This is also coming out with Yosef, coming up in a few parshas, right? That she saw a man playing with his hair. He was flipping his hair. Amrulay Adbasei Atam Salsal B'Sharecha. Until how long are you going to play Sarayach? I'm sorry, with your or Sarecha. How long are you going to play with your hair? So that's the salsal means to twist. They didn't know what it meant that he's going to tatay it with the matatoy of hashmed, of destroying things. Right, so Yom Echad Shmuel Amsa de Rebbi. One time they heard the Amsa de Rebbi that was Amr Lachaver Tashkuli Tatisa V'Tati Besa. Take a shmata, right, and sweep the house. So that's what it means. It means some sort of like shmata, yeah, or like a cloth. Next case, right? This is the hardest one, Rabanan. This one's a hard one because this one's a pasuk, right? They said Hashlech. Put Yehovcha on Hashem, and He's going to take care of it. So they didn't know what Yehovcha meant. So Amar Rabbi Baruchana Yom Echad Havazlinan Bahadi Yahutaya. They were traveling with a
merchant,
a
caravan.
Yeah. So have a derena tuna, and I was carrying a load. V'Amar Ali, call Yehovcha, take your Yehovcha Shadi Agan Lo and put it onto my camel. So he learned a taich from a goyish guy, from a merchant, right? A taich of a pasuk. So I mean, the lesson we can learn out: don't feel bad when we don't understand psukim, because they didn't really have pshat in Tehillim either. Tehillim must not be such an easy thing to understand.
Yeah. So also he wasn't traveling with his Rebbi since she couldn't tell him the Taisha to tell him.
I hear that. Rabanan, I don't want to say it. I'll leave what I want to tell you for. Let me try to finish the daf, and I'll tell you another thing that I hope doesn't get you going with the Yiddish speaking, with the wives speak the English for the husband. Okay, let's just finish, yeah? So Zog the Mishna. What? Okay, we'll get it. Shofar shel Rosh Hashana, the shofar Rosh Hashana shel Yal Pashat, right? It's of a goat, but it has to be straight, which we'll see what that means exactly, right? Upiv Masupazov, and its mouth is gold plated. Shtei chatzos min hatzadan, and two trumpets on both sides, right? Shofar, two meaning one shofar on each side. Shofar marich. So how they do it? The shofar blew for a long time, but chatzos and the katzos and the chatzos did it shorter. Shemitzvah sayayim b'shofar, because the mitzvah sayayim is with shofar, so therefore the shofar goes longer. The tiniest, but on fast days, b'shel schorim kfufin, it was from male rams or sheep, whatever it is, and the shofar was folded, or meaning it has to be bent. Upiyan mitzupa kesef, not gold. The mouth is lined with gold, with silver. And two trumpets are in the middle, right? And because on a tainus, the ikar is the trumpets, not the shofar. Shofar mekatzev, chatzos is marichas, and the shofar goes shorter, and the chatzos go longer. Shemitzvah sayam, but chatzos, because the mitzvah day is chatzos. Shava yovel Rosh Hashana. Yovel is the same as Rosh Hashana, l'tkiya ula brachas, with tkiya and with brachas. Right, meaning they do the same, which we'll see in the Gemara exactly what that means. Rabbi Yehuda Rosh Hashana taikin b'shel schorim. Rabbi Yehuda says no, Rosh Hashana it's not the same. You blow with males and the yovelos b'shel yaelim, and on yovel you do it with a yael. Fine. So Zogdin, what Amar Levi mitzvah Rosh Hashana b'shel Yom Kippur b'kfufin b'shel kol Hashana b'pshutim. So the mitzvah of the Rosh Hashana Yom Kippur was with bent shofars, and on the whole year is with straight. But we learned in the Mishna, shofar Rosh Hashana sheyal pashet. So it's a kasha Reb Levi. It says to be straight, and he said it should be bent. Uda ki atana the Tanya of Yehuda Amar Rosh Hashana how you take him b'shal scharim b'kufin of yolis b'shal yael. He holds to the Tana that disagrees, and he says like him. Why doesn't he just say the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda? Why does he have to say the halacha himself again? Meaning, Levi said the halacha as if he's the one that said it. Why don't you just say the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda? Say, Amar halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. Havamina filu shoyovel nami. Rabbi Yehuda svirule. So if he would just say like Rabbi Yehuda, so maybe yovel also you have to go like he held like Rabbi Yehuda. Kamash Malon that Rabbi Levi did not hold by Rabbi Yehuda by yovel, and he held that by yovel you do have to use a bent shofar. So, but my committee. What's the Machlokes whether you need to have a bent shofar or not for Rosh Hashana? Masa Rosh Hashana kamed the kaya finish daitik fei, meaning when your das is bent over, right? Because you wanna on Rosh Hashana you wanna show that you machniya yourself to Hashem, so it should be bent. Shofar should be bent because that's what you're supposed to daven. But we Yom Kippurim kamed the pashet in daite. You want to make your das pashet like that. You're just doing tshuva, so it's on meaning Yom Kippur of yovel, then that's why it should be straight. Tfei Maili, that's better. Marsav Rosh Hashana, on Rosh Hashana, Kamat the Pashat Inish Taite. On Rosh Hashana, when a person he says fakir, when you have a straight line without being stressed out on Rosh Hashana, that's Tfei Maili better. But tiniest Kamat the Kayef Inish Taite Tfei Maili, and on tiniest, when you're more a person should bend his mind, Tfei Maili, that's better on Tanesim. Right, so they're having just the Yisodus Liga Machlokes. I wish we had time for this more of. What is the kavanah when you're davening? What's the kavanah supposed to be when you're davening on Rosh Hashana and on Tanesim? Okay, at least Baruch Hashem we finished the daf. What time tomorrow? What did we do last week? 10 to 5?
Last week we did 5, no?
Yeah, we did 5.
We gotta do 10 to 5. So 10 to 5, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, 10 to 5 works?
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, I got
So
a
what-
Ma'ariv in Kal Chasidim. Ma'ariv started a half hour after Shkia. I got a Ma'ariv in Kal Chasidim. When Ma'ariv was over, in came your favorite Rebbe for Mincha.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I walked in there, I wasn't sure to ask whether the davening mincha or the davening ma'ariv. But anyways, yeah.
Koyach to your
All right.
Mesiris Nefesh. Thank you.
Well, so Yaakov, I've told many times I used to work with a Chabad fellow many years ago, and 25 years ago in the garment center. So he always told me, he says, when I come into Beis Medrash and I'm davening mincha at 15 minutes after the shkia, they all start screaming at me, in Chabad in 770. Because the Rebbe comes in from the Beis Chaim 10 o'clock at night, and he's davening mincha, and nobody says a word. He has 500 guys davening with him. And he says,
I hear you. All right, listen, you know what? That's the way the din of Shulchan Aruch is, right? That is the din of Shulchan Aruch, that you could daven until then. So, I mean, I don't know. Yeah. Anyways.
Thank you.
All right. I don't know.
All right, have a safe flight.
Okay, thanks a lot. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Night.
Good Chodesh, everybody.
Good
Gershon.
Have a safe drive, Rafe.
Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.